Happy Tuesday, everyone. We're back. We're live here on the Man United agenda, and we are discussing the exodus that seems to be happening at Manchester United. Good evening, everyone, and you're very welcome here live in the Man United Agenda studios. I'm ably joined by the defensive coach, OMONDI Juma, and my fellow combatants from yesterday's Studs Up show and the victorious party, Mr. B. Welcome.
What's happening?
Now, it's starting to look like a January transfer window, to quote Meatloaf, like a bat out of hell that'll be gone when the morning comes. All I'm seeing is players leaving. We've already got the done deal for Martial. He's in Sevilla. He's in Spain. He's happy as Larry by all accounts. We've now got Donny van der Beek, who Patrick Vieira, one of the preeminent midfielders from the days of Roy Keane, see something in this boy that Jose Mourinho didn't see, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't see, and that Ralph Rangnick apparently is not seeing. So why is Vieira interested in? That is the million-dollar question. We've got Jesse Lingard from Newcastle. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Lee.
I don't think Jose
Thank you.
had Van der Beek. But yeah, I saw on Monday's puzzled look, and he confirmed what I was thinking. So sorry, you can carry on now.
My apologies. If he didn't have Donny, he didn't have Donny. Fair enough. But then we have Jesse Lingard, who, for some bizarre reason, Newcastle United apparently want to give us £10 million for. And then we have Eric Bailly, who's been linked with a move to join up with the aforementioned Jose Mourinho in Roma. And the final one is that we have a Mr. Juan Mata, whose original deal as to why his contract was extended under the old gaffer, his coaching role does no longer seem to be there. So now we have a situation where he could be moving on. So that being said, we need to look at what the implications of having all these deals going through would have on our subs bench. And I have a graphic for us to help discuss this matter, so we'll bring this one up. As you can see, this is the sub bench from the West Ham game. Donny van der Beek, Phil Jones, Mata, Rashford, Matic, Lingard, Martial, Henderson, and Cavani. There's Martial is gone. Lingard would be gone or going. Mata would be going. And of course, Eric Bailly at the moment is on international duty. I'm going to start with Mr. B. Does this fill you with concern if all these exits happen?
Not really. Mata wasn't playing. He was just taking up wages. Lingard, we expected him to have gone in the summer. Van der Beek is the one I still, as much as all these managers have come in, I still don't understand why he's getting no game time. But he's not playing, really. He's getting 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Martial going is the one that probably burns me the most, because I still think there's a player in there for Man United. Will it affect the bench too much? I'm not sure, because if you look, who have we got to... Okay, Van der Beek goes. Lingard. Lingard's more likely to go. Hannibal, I know he's away on international duty. He was name-checked by Rangnick just before he left. Pogba coming back in, replaces Mata. So already, I think that's stronger. The Martial situation, he wasn't getting any time anyway. So if it's down to injuries, maybe. I don't think it's going to affect us too much, to be honest. As long as good old Matic's legs keep doing what he's doing for us, OMONDI, then I think we'll be fine. It
sort of raises question marks, though, doesn't it? When you talk about 4 players out of this squad coming off. It was there. We were getting rave reviews the other day against West Ham when we brought on 3 quality players and it changed the game after 80 minutes. What a bench everyone was saying. How impressive is that? Just for a top club like Man United to have 3 players like Cavani, Rashford, and Martial to come off the bench. They definitely made a difference. And you compare that to West Ham, who were above us at that point. They didn't have anyone really of that quality to come off the bench. So the squad game is what's really about in the Premiership. If you need to go the distance over 38 games with all these obstructions like COVID, injury, all these factors, I think the squad game is important. What we're doing now, if we do release 4 players, 4 top quality players as well, where does that leave us? And I think Mr. B sort of gave a good review there about the players coming in. And I still back Ralph, whatever Ralph decides to do, if that's the decision. He does say if players don't want to be there, then let them go. But the question would be, with the Champions League and FA Cup and League, well, we haven't qualified as yet for the top 4, but that's our goal. Are we going to be a bit short? That's the big question mark. And I think I want to know what you think, Rebel, about that, because after the show yesterday, there was which you said you won the debate. You need to sort of take this and really sort of explain yourself.
Well, that's interesting. Of course, we won't mention the backstage feelings that you had about the squad on Monday. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't throw you to the bus like that. But let's look at it simplistically. So we're saying if Donny van de Beek, Martial, who's already gone, and Lingard are all gone from that squad, you're looking at 2 of our front 3 in Cavani and Ronaldo are both 36/37. We've got a situation where Matic, who would be the preeminent number 1 alternate midfielder, is also in that age bracket. So what you have to ask yourself is, when we're rotating players naturally, will this legginess come into play? And I know Mr. B wants to make a point, so let's throw it in there.
Sorry, I've just realised Sancho's not on this bench.
Yeah. So he used to come in. He would usually be on the bench maybe or starting. So losing Martial, is that really a big issue?
Well, I suppose let's look at the front 3 to start with, and we'll work our way back. On the left, we have Elanga, Rashford, really, as our 2 options. I think you'd both agree with that. On the right, then, we have an alternation between Sancho and Greenwood at the moment. And up front, then, we obviously have Cavani and Ronaldo, with Ronaldo obviously being the preeminent striker, being Cristiano Ronaldo. But what you have to ask yourself is this, though. If you have one injury or one dip in form from, say, Elanga on the left-hand side, you're forcing then possibly Sancho to cover that role, which leaves you with 1 right-sided midfielder. Similarly speaking, if you're looking at the central role, 1 injury to either Cavani or Ronaldo leaves you with 1 starter, and Greenwood then having to move up from covering just the right, but also covering the central role. So you're basically asking a lot of players to cover multiple roles and possibly leaving us thin when we do have that FA Cup, that Premier League game, and possibly a Champions League game, depending on how far we can go on this, hitting each other, bang, 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 one after the other. And is it enough on Monday, is what I'd ask you.
Well, I just want to chip in with that. So there's 6 players, 2 for each position, as you said, across the front line. I would throw in SHAH. He would be the backup for me. Just like you said, if one player got injured, what would we do? So SHAH, the youngster, he's come on a few times, he had his debut last year under Ole. He's firing on all cylinders. If you follow, I watch under 18s and under 23s, and he's doing a good job there. So I think he's more than impressive enough. He can come in and fill in to that front 6. So we've got cover, I do believe. And we're not really sort of leaving ourselves out to lurch in that respect. Cavani does get injured quite a bit. That could be an issue. But I would be happy with that. I think that sort of brings down the squad, because I think we had a 29-man squad. It brings it down, and it gives players opportunity, knowing they got more chance of playing these days, if there's 6 man for each position cover there. So SHAH, that's my solution to that one, and I'm very happy. So Martial goes, like you said, on this bench, what we saw against West Ham. Sancho, you add Sancho, swap him for Martial, who's gone, and then Lingard as well. You're talking about Hannibal, you're talking about Zidane, 2 players who are Hannibal's on international duty with Tunisia right now in the African Nations Cup. They just beat Nigeria.
Can we stick to the forward line for the moment on Monday? If you don't mind, can we stick to the forward line for the time being?
Oh, sorry, yeah. So the forward line, I think SHAH is the key there. He's the one who shores it up. We can always call him up and make him play in any of 3 of those positions.
Absolutely.
Can I just ask something? Do you think that the formation change going to 4-3-3 has helped the fact that the players leaving, the players who are left actually playing those positions? Do you think that was something that Ranić had a look at as well?
That's an interesting actual thought. And do you know what? Maybe there is something to that, because are you saying that any of those 6 should be able to play in a fluid motion anywhere in the top 3?
Yeah, because I'm thinking, well, Cavani, and now they're playing, because he came in with the 4-2-2-2, which meant that Cavani and Ronaldo would have been his first choice. If either of those got injured, he was then relying on Rashford, who he wasn't sure about or didn't trust. So the fact that he's now going 1 up front, Ronaldo, Cavani, as you said, you've got Rashford and Elanga who we trust, Rashford's coming back into form, and obviously the right side with Greenwood. So that end of it, I actually think maybe that could be why he changed it. Now, if it's 6 players for those 3 positions and they stay fit, I think the key is staying fit.
Yeah.
I think we've got cover in those specific positions to carry on for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. So for me, it's a thumbs up if we get rid of Martial, which we have already. Thumbs up, I think we'll be secure in that position.
Just one from the comments. Saragon mentioned Ahmed. Ahmed is on loan in Birmingham City, if I'm not mistaken. On Monday, might be able to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure he is left for Birmingham.
I'm not 100% on that, to be honest. I'm not. I can't confirm with you.
But yeah, if he is still on the squad, then obviously that is another tool to be added to the arsenal, if that is the case. But on Monday, do you want to take some comments away before we refresh for the midfield?
Yeah, so guys, big dilemma here. Just obviously the theory is if we lose 4 players, 4 top players as well, what happens next? Can we cope? So big up to Matt from Football United TV. Big up to TalkMU. Monday of the week, I think that's directed to you, Rebel, for your misunderstanding about Donny and Jose Mourinho. Yes, you've been clipped. They're saying, evening, guys, from Mark Carroll. How are you doing, Mark Carroll? Saragon, yeah, 3 Kings of YouTube. He's just mentioned about Ahmed. We're going to find out. I'm sure Mr. B's on the case right now. We'd let you know. Evening from Matthew Bassett. Big up the lads. Come on, lads. Let us know. Ahmed is decent. Yeah, I think he's more than decent. Ahmed's in with good shouts. So Steve Fletcher and Saragon, is he still at the club or has he gone on loan? I'm not sure. Oh, Steve, here we go. So Steve Fletcher saying the Birmingham deal may have fell through. Evening, lads from UK Strains. So that's 7. We got 7, maybe 8 players with SHAH and Ahmed then. And Matthew Bassett says Ahmed's loan to Birmingham fell through. I think maybe to do with injury, wasn't it? It rings a bell now.
No, that was before. He was supposed to go final at the beginning of the season. He got injured. That fell through. Birmingham was lined up, but they're saying that there's still another 4 teams involved. I don't know if any of them are UK teams. I think that's the biggest issue. I don't think if we're going to loan him out, I think he should be loaned out in this country, whether it's Championship or Premiership. I don't think he should be moved out of the country. I think he needs to adapt to the British way of life as well, you know?
And a big shout here, Steve Fletcher, he obviously watches under-18s football. He's saying that Alvaro Fernandez should be called up as first-team cover for left-back as well.
Absolutely.
Big up Andy Herbert, yeah.
Just there with the comments, we'd like to know your views as well, how you feel about the reinforcements in the front line. So let us know what you think there in the comments, and we'll come across a selection of them later on in the show. But that then gets us to reload, restock, and look at that very, very much queried position of central midfield. It's an area that the show has covered a lot in recent months, and many of us have felt that we are a bit light, even with the array of options that we have in the defensive side of that midfield. So looking at, assuming Pogba comes back after the international break, you're looking at Pogba, Bruno, and one of McFred or Matic in your central midfield, which leaves you then with the other one of McFred or Matic on the bench. So what you're saying is there's 2 rotatory options, plus possibly an addition of Hannibal to cover the 3 in the midfield if we persist with 4-3-3. So again, I'm going to throw out there, given the array of defensive midfielders that seem to be available, some of which are about £6 or £7 million, is it worth taking a risk, bringing in a £6 or £7 million signing with the likelihood that you get your money back later on, because these players have come to the last 6 months of their contract, so their clubs will be willing probably to take any bit of money that they can recoup off them at this point. And if we have them on a medium-term contract, we will then be able to sell them with plenty of time remaining on their contract. So do you take that risk, or do you say, do you know what, let's just use Hannibal and hope that he does a job for us and he grows into the team? I'm going to start this time with OMONDI.
Okay, so I've identified 8 midfielders that can play in a midfield 3. So that's 2 extras. So you obviously got doubled up. There's 3 midfielders. You got 2 replacements. So you got replacements for them and 2 extras. So out of those 8 players, I've got Zidane, Hannibal, and Little Savage. That's like a rap name, is it? Little Savage. And so those 3 are youth players, and that would be fantastic for them. They would get game time. Because you've got Bruno, Matic, McFred, that's 2 players there, Pogba and Savage, Hannibal and Zidane, that's 8 players. And I think that would be ideal for these youngsters. And it would be a big statement by the manager as well. But also, I do agree with you, we would be a bit light and it would be a lot of responsibility. And as someone once said, you can't win anything with kids. But that wasn't Man United, man. They didn't know our club correctly. They didn't know what we were about. So I do agree with you. I think when you got offers like this, you've got guys running out their contract, you can get them for a cheap price. We've identified Sakiri. We identified Kamara from Marseille. I think it's worth going for these guys and fitting them in. Not desperate for it, but if you want that bit of added security, now's the time to strike.
Ladies and gentlemen of the comments and my learner colleague, Mr. B, I want to note at this time being 10-9 that there's been an absolute flip-flop from yesterday's position by OMONDI Juma.
I'm suggesting maybe. If you listen to what I said it might be, if you want an added security, then do it. Then go and get that player in. But otherwise, I'm quite happy with the youngsters. Zidane, Hannibal. Look, Hannibal's playing international football. Zidane's playing international football. Savage is just a little Savage. What more do you want?
Okay, well, look, OMONDI, I'm going to go in slightly differently. If we played those young players in games that we had to win, would you feel confident that we were going to be able to win the game? If we had players injured, I don't think though. I think though the FA Cup players, depending on the tie, obviously, Premier League right now is ruthless. Let's be honest. Them bottom teams, normally you've got a few years where you might be able to get away with playing, a younger guy or an inexperienced player in a certain position. Right now, Ranić can't afford to do that. I don't think the younger guys will be getting a chance. Hannibal, I do, just because he's been name-checked by Ranić before he flew out. I think we need at least one more midfielder. My theory to all of this to-in and throw-in with Manchester United, 250 off the wage bill a week. Martial. What's Lingard on? 100 grand. That's 350 off the wage bill till the end of the season. I'm hoping that they're looking to do something. Just a theory, but I'll keep it to myself until Thursday when we sign somebody, and then I can say, I was right.
Just a quick one. In the last 9 minutes, Fabrizio Romero has tweeted, Donny van de Beek will decide his favourite straight loan solution in the next hour/days. Crystal Palace are pushing, as revealed today. Vieira is the man who wants him there, but he also is being courted by Valencia.
I hope he stays in. I'll be honest, I would love him to stay in the Prem and to stick 2 fingers up at all of those coaches at Manchester United and come back with his chest this big. So that's the player that we get for next season. I have no problem with Donny going out on loan. He can't play against us anyway. Lingard, if Lingard goes out on loan, he can't play against us anyway. So I'll be happy for these players to go out on loan. If it does mean that the squad strips down, then fine, accept that. But go and get some game time.
The advantage actually to Donny is if it is his boy Ten Hag that comes in, all of a sudden the grass and the pitch changes for him when he returns to Manchester United, doesn't it?
Good shout there.
Good point.
Yeah.
So
hopefully you're right. Hopefully I do love the Ajax coach, and hopefully he's the one. Maybe, yeah, that's a good shout. Raise my eyebrow.
Just a quick one, and it's not strictly Manchester United based, but we've been talking about a certain striker, and today, unfortunately, Fabrizio gave us the bad news that he's gone to those blue men in the other side of Manchester City. So you got to ask yourself, given that we know that Cavani is more than likely leaving at the end of the season, and we do not know how much longer we have with Cristiano, whether or not he will bolt if there's no Champions League, that remains to be seen. Why are we not picking up on these players when they're available? Because we already know that Mr. B's favourite is heading more than likely for Juventus, and this guy now is going to be turning up at Manchester City next season. So that leaves you with one big, massive name that we all know is Haaland, or somebody that has not yet been talked about. So you got to ask yourself, where's the long-term planning again there in terms of identifying our squad needs, which is what we're trying to do tonight.
All right, can I say something? We have a generational talent at our club that plays up front. He's been banging goals since he was 9 at Old Trafford, training ground, Carrot, and wherever the younger players play. And all I keep hearing is Haaland. Give Greenwood his chance up front as the striker of our club at the top of the Christmas tree, where he doesn't have to concentrate on the assists or the passing and let him do his job. And I don't believe we need Haaland. That's my opinion.
No, let's say, assuming Greenwood is up top, he's number 1. Then are we saying we use short years to support in the way that we were using Greenwood in support of Ronaldo and Sancho? Or
no, because if you Sancho should then be able to take the right-hand side.
That he's in support of Cavani and Ronaldo for that top of the tree at the moment. If you have Cavani and Ronaldo moving on, that leaves you with Greenwood and blank.
I understand the Greenwood and the blank. I do understand that, but just let's get through this season first, eh? Come on now. We've still got.
The issue is that they just signed Alvarez. We looked at him, and he looks like a good player. He smashed it in South America. He's under 23. He's ready for the big move to Europe, and he was on our radar, and he's gone now. I do understand that Greenwood should be the man coming through, but to be honest, Haaland's not much older than him, and he's clear of him. And I think Ronaldo's clear of him, and I think Cavani's clear of him. But Greenwood hasn't really developed as I would have thought. If you put him as number 9, is he going to get double figures for the season? I'm not sure. Can he header it in the 6-yard box? Good finisher when he gets out of his feet, but is he strong enough? You know, these are question marks. I'm not saying he's not. There's still question marks for me. When I look at Haaland, he's a beast. He's a goal a game sort of player. When I look at this Alvarez, I don't see why we couldn't have got someone like him in as backup or to compete with Greenwood. We're Man United. We don't just rely on one big striker, you know. I think Greenwood, the reason, if he was that good, as good as these guys, he would have been number 9 by now and stepping up. When you look at the little subtle things that Ronaldo and Cavani do, he's way off that. They're clear of him. When you look at the power, the strength, the heading ability of Haaland, he's clear of Greenwood. You know, so it's all right us saying, yeah, he's the future, everything else. He's yet to prove it, and there is still a big question mark, no doubt about it for me.
Okay,
just a quick one. Sargon. Sorry, that was my pronunciation of Romano. My apologies. It's his account, trust me. But you can look it up yourself. But yeah, that was my bad on the pronunciation. I said Romero. It is Romano.
Question: if you see in Germany, in Dortmund especially, players get given chances. If Greenwood played for Dortmund, I'm not going to say he would be hitting the figures that Haaland hits. I just don't think players are given chances to prove themselves in this country. Haaland plays every game. I understand that. Sancho went over there. Bellingham is the example that I'm going to use. He's played virtually every game and he's grown, he's excelled. So I think it might be a country thing where if Greenwood was playing in Germany, he would be banging in goals. He would be first choice. I do believe that he would be first choice. But Oli didn't trust him. We signed Ronaldo. never gonna moan about that signing. But did that put the kibosh on Greenwood's progress as a centre forward for one season?
Interesting
Well,
thought.
like I said, all I'm saying is a question mark because he hasn't played enough games there for us. And it's still, Jonathan David from Lille, he's playing well at the moment. Arsenal being interested in him as well from Real Sociedad. He's not prolific. I don't know if he's clear of Greenwood. I really don't know. But I'm saying Haaland, Ronaldo, Cavani, the things they do in their game is they're all clear of him at the moment. So Greenwood, I think, needs to step up. We keep saying in a couple of years he will be ready for his number 9. I'm still waiting. I'm not dismissing him. I'm saying I still think there's a big question mark about whether he's ready just yet to do that. Hence why he keeps playing out wide because you've got to keep him in the game. He's still good enough, but there's levels out there, and he's not. For me, at the moment, he hasn't proven it, and there's a lot of speculation. We can only speculate whether he can do it.
Absolutely. I suppose let's dial back in, as you said, to this season, and let's assume the nuclear option happens. That along with Anthony Martial, the other 4 players that we mentioned tonight do get on the stagecoach and leave Old Trafford, have their parking validated, and say good luck. Do we then? I think we're all pretty much convinced by the argument that you've made in terms of the front three and the fluidity that we could manage that area. But is there a case that you take that £5-6 million option in that defensive midfield and make sure that you're not caught light there? Because I think with Matic's age profile, with the inexperience of Hannibal, because obviously we can use him for the FA Cup games, etc., and some of the Premier League games, do we need to kind of make sure that we cover a major injury to one of our main midfielders?
I say no. We don't need to, but if you want to add security, yes. Pogba's coming back. That's like a transfer for us. And I think with the backup should always be, in a club like us, the backup should always be the youngsters. Start showing them that there's a route through to the first team.
Okay, Mr. B?
Sorry, I was sorting out my phone. I didn't hear the question. I'm really sorry.
I'll repeat it for you. Looking at the forward line, I think we've all agreed that the fluidity that is still there, that we would get by with the 6 players. But when we come back into that midfield tree, if that is the system that we'll be persisting with, is it necessary to cover that midfield with a sign? Because the alternatives that we're looking
100%, 100%. You don't need to finish the question. 100%. I think we need a signing.
And I would be in agreement with you there. I think it is absolutely crucial in the centre of midfield. And if a right back option to go in tandem with Dalot was available, I think that would be advantageous as well, although not entirely necessary to what we want to achieve this season. It would be advantageous because I think what Wan-Bissaka gives you instead of Dalot is completely different. And Monday, you want to come in there?
Yeah, I'm just impressed here by Matthew Bassett. He's saying here, I think we need to give Greenwood about 3 years to fully develop as a number 9. People develop at different stages, don't they? I mean, when I was taking my GCSEs, I surely wasn't ready, And now, give it to me now. Let me take my GCSEs now. I'll smash it. But like I say, Greenwood, he's maybe a slow developer as a real physical thing. He needs a bit more to his game. So, yeah, I agree with Matthew Bassett. And a few of the other guys, they're talking about other players as well, strikers that could come in. Just here from Mark Carroll, for example, says Mr. Ranwick loves Greenwood. If Ronaldo was at Dortmund, Haaland would have played as a wide forward. Let's just speak.
There you go. Yeah. See, and that.
They're saying, sorry, just to finish up with the guys in the comments, they're all saying we do need a midfielder. They're with you guys. So regardless, if we do get rid of the 4 guys, these guys are saying we do need that extra security of an extra player to come in.
Actually, I just seen a comment from Steve Fletcher. The Ranić purge of Old Trafford is what he's starting to describe it as.
Look,
But
I mean, it's about time. As I said, Ranić. The thing I like about Ranić, he doesn't have. I don't think he sees players as the Rashfords, the Elangas. He sees them as players who will adapt to his style, regardless of what they've done previously. I think he's given everybody that clean slate. Martial made it perfectly clear he wanted to leave. Lingard, obviously there was issues with Lingard, but if you look at what the players are actually doing on the pitch, if they're not doing it in training, and young Alanga came out and said it, maybe there was a reason why the youngster came out and made that point. If you train like you play, you get given the chance. What he's probably done is kicked all of those young guys up their backside. Let's be honest, Alanga's not better than Rashford. But the fact that Rashford now thinks or realizes, there's somebody ahead of me, he can't afford to rest on his laurels. And this is what I'm saying. Competition is always good in any walk of life. Competition is always good. Long live Ralph.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
Long live Ralph.
Actually, there was a question that was posed, and I'm going to give you a yes or no answer is what I'm looking for. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, if we was delivered to Old Trafford in the morning, would you have him? Mr. B, yes or no?
No, not over Greenwood. No chance. No chance.
That's a
and it's a
double
no
no
from me as well. I don't rate him, to be honest.
There we go. So I think it was Rushmano that raised the question. That motion has been utterly defeated by the panel on a score of 3-0 for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And the Yank is also weighing in there, no to DCL. So that looks like it's a Queen's.
Can I say something? If Greenwood is would Greenwood have scored more goals at Everton?
Looking at what's behind him at Everton, would he got the opportunities to score the goals? Is the question, because he's Dominic Calvert-Lewin's essentially being starved by his midfield. Some would say, they're struggling in terms of their tactics. They're going through managers like they go through hot dinners. So the question is the problem for Calvert-Lewin, or is the problem for him what's going on at the club?
Behind him.
So. But I don't think he would be an upgrade for us. And as you said, he'd be just another barrier that Greenwood would have to shunt out of his way in order to get the time in front of him. But I do think that does leave us with the final question of the night. If these players leave and there's no signings, where are we finishing? And I'm going to start with Mr. B.
5th. With
Fifth.
no signings, we finished 5th.
And Mr. Positivity, OMONDI Juma.
Even if we get rid of the 4 players that you've mentioned on this show, I think we could still make top 4 if we focus on top 4 and bring in the youngsters. Because Alan Hansen's quote that just says it all for us. We need to let these youngsters do, as we see with Lingard. These guys can step up and do things that we didn't expect them to do.
Would you say that we need to identify some strategy if we are relying on the youngsters? Would we be looking to maybe exit FA Cup, possibly manage?
No, I don't want to exit anything. I'll be honest, bro. I'm really honest. I don't want us to exit anything. I want us to go in there. Bro, we haven't won anything in ages. Let's be honest. I want us to go. If it means that, we have the Mayberries, the Hannibals playing, don't play Hannibal with a whole load of youngsters. Play them with the A-class players so that these players learn. This is the one issue that I have. Don't play all of the kids in the game and expect them to be great. You integrate them, you mix it. You play Elanga with Pogba. Play with a class player who will see Elanga's runs, who we will learn from. Don't play with a whole load of kids. It's like moving the holy reserves up to play. Give them the opportunity to win games.
And actually, just coming in through the wire, the latest tabloid spew, Roma and AC Milan now are both battling for Eric Bailly's signature for the remainder of the season. Interestingly,
that's a 5th man out there. And we started with 4, and during the show it's gone to 5. But I think Phil Jones will cover Bailey. Just to end that one.
And
If not, I'll get my boots on.
and actually, a final yes or no question, because it's yet another tabloid story. Contract rebel Dembele is the one that we've talked about at Barcelona, but there's a centre-back now that apparently has refused a new signing for Barcelona. He's also Uruguayan. Araújo, I presume I'm absolutely butchering that pronunciation, but is he a player that you would take? Uruguayan centre-back.
I have no idea who the hell you are.
Where? Barcelona.
Barcelona, yeah. Young Uruguay.
Name?
Ronald Araújo. I'm butchering.
Okay. No.
No,
Let's
never heard
not.
of it.
Haste makes waste. These players, I don't think they're fit to play for Man United.
So, just to give the wonderful viewers a preview of what's coming up, tomorrow we are back again, I believe, at 8 o'clock. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then on Thursday, we have another show at 8 p.m. before a very busy Friday. The quiz is back with the Quizmaster to pose his questions on Monday, Juma, and of course, the Mr. B's Friday night takeaway. He's serving up that fresh fish and chips at 10 p.m. and he's going to light it all up and start the weekend for us. Now,
Lighting up nothing.
You know what? Just to summarise, I think you two and the people in the comments do think if we do get rid of these players, we do need to make a signing. That's very clear by what you guys are feeling about.
Actually, there's just one I'm going to bring up here. There's a yes to Ronald Araújo from Matthew Bassett. So there we go.
And from Connor as well.
And from Connor. So time to do your homework, gentlemen, on that one. And of course, don't forget, transfer deadline day is fast approaching. So we will be doing our best, Jim White, and trying to give you that final hour's coverage. So stay tuned for that. But for tonight, I've been Rebel. That has been
contract's up in 2023. Sorry. And I've been Mr. B.
And we will wish you a very good night and a happy Tuesday.